There you are.
Good morning.
You left early.
Yeah, I wanted to get in here.
Well, Trish says the calls are coming in from all over the country now.
Well, they are, and there's a piece on it in every one of these papers.
What a time for this to happen.
I told Trish to tell everybody the same thing I told you.
Oh, the official line.
Yes, that we do not consider this to be a coincidence.
In other words, we accuse Sally of stealing our design.
That's the implication, yes.
Where are you off to now?
I'm going to see Miss Spectra.
Dad, do you think that's such a good idea?
I have to confront this woman, Rich.
She's just going to deny everything.
That's up to her. I just can't let another day go by without taking some sort of action. We have been so violated by this company.
I know what you mean. We agreed to do a showing that was not in our best interest. Only Sally stood to gain from it, and then she turns around and rips us off. The problem is, Dad, we can't prove that.
Not yet, but I am going to find out who's responsible.
She won't tell you anything.
At the threat of a major lawsuit, she just might. At the very least, I'm going to find out who this Beau Rivage is.
Dad, I think you're expecting too much.
You know, Sally Spectra thinks she has it all over us because she's from the streets. But what she forgets is that I spent years on those same streets. I'll handle her like she's never been handled.
Any calls?
Are you kidding? Darla's really earning her paycheck today.
What about Stephanie? Is she called?
No word from the Forresters.
They're probably busy formulating their position.
Speaking of which, Mother, here. I formulated ours.
Eh? We regret the embarrassment caused by the obvious similarity between our lead design and that of Forrester Creations. Coincidence like this is not uncommon. We feel both collections will be enhanced by these lovely centerpieces. It's not bad. It's good, Macy.
Not that it's going to satisfy Forrester.
Nothing's going to satisfy Forrester.
You know, Mother, that's their problem. We are not in this business to please the competition.
Now you sound like me.
Well, there's just only so much you can do to smooth things over, Mother. There is one matter that we have to handle.
I know. Clarke Garrison.
I just can't imagine that he would deliberately copy a Forrester original. He had to have known what would happen.
He was under the gun, Macy. Both Forrester and I. We had him up against the wall.
I don't care, Mother. By giving us a forgery, he jeopardizes everything. He jeopardizes his career, his reputation, not to mention his life if you catch him.
Then how did it happen, Macy? How? Those two dresses were virtually identical. Now, there was no way a similarity like that could happen by coincidence.
I don't have an answer, Mother. I just don't think it's Clarke. There's another piece to this puzzle. I bet money on it.
Clarke, no, I am not going to keep my eyes open for you.
You've used me enough. But I'm sorry, but I just do not believe you.
As far as I'm concerned, you stole my work. The least you could do is admit it and apologize.
Well, Margo, how do I thank you?
For what?
My worst fears were realized yesterday.
Oh, and I get the blame?
Don't treat me like I'm stupid.
Kristen, I had nothing to do with what happened yesterday. I had nothing to do with it at all.
Are you saying that you didn't design that dress I was wearing? Our showstopper?
Of course I designed it, but I didn't design his twin.
Well, at least you admit they were one and the same.
I'm not stupid either.
Well then, who do you suppose did design Spectre's showstopper? How could it not be you, Margo? When we've both just agreed that it was one and the same.
Obviously, someone ripped me off.
Ripped you off? Is that how you feel? Well, let me tell you what ripped off is. It's walking down that runway, being photographed, and then being questioned and interviewed, only to find out that I was wearing the centerpiece of someone else's collection. My family and me have been ripped off, Margo.
Well, so have I.
Okay, so you have no idea who's responsible for this? Yes, you do. And it's rip-off number 2. Clarke. My husband and you are in this together.
Yeah, darling, what is it? What? What is it, huh? Hello, Eric.
Sally?
Oh, please. Come in, come in. So you stopped by Moishe's for a cup of his coffee, huh?
Yeah.
So, what can I do for you?
You can do better than that, for starters.
Yes, of course I can. I just didn't expect to see you here. What do you say we start over, huh? Can I freshen up your coffee for you?
No, Sally. This is not a social call.
I didn't think it was.
I want some answers, Sally.
Yeah, well, I could do with a few of those myself, Eric.
You know, I gave you more credit than you deserve. The way you pulled that show together, the way you rallied the community, the way you risked your entire reputation on the outcome, it was really very clever. It's not my style, of course, but I thought it worked. Until the very last moment.
Yeah, it did work, didn't it? Kind of makes you wonder.
What?
Why I'd blow all that time, all that money, and all that work on something as stupid as a stolen design. That is why you're here, isn't it? You think our showstopper was a copy of yours?
Yeah, let's close the door there. Don't want to let too much of the steam out. What a way to start the day, huh? Man, can I use it? What the devil?
Not a devil, Rich. Your angel. Back from Europe.
Logan.
Hi, honey. Happy to see me?
Go ahead, deny it. You can't.
The hell I can't.
You think I don't know my husband designs for Spectre?
So what?
So there's the connection. The dresses were the same. You're responsible for Forrester's, and he designed Spectre's. Obviously, you two work together.
We didn't.
Come on, Margo. There's only one thing worse than what you've done, and that's lying to me.
Kristen, I am not lying. I had nothing to do with the Spectre showstopper.
You know, sometimes you make me sick. Recently married and yet chasing my husband, and now this? My
personal life is none of your business.
Oh, it certainly is when it involves my husband.
Oh! Well, now he's your husband. Well, what's he doing in my old apartment alone?
That's none of your business.
Okay, fine. Okay, I've never made it that way, and I won't.
So you haven't told me about the dresses. Are you going to explain this? Or do you feel you don't owe me an explanation?
Kristen, I don't know what happened. I designed the Forrester dress, period. And then when I saw the Spectre model wearing it, I was just as shocked as you were.
You know, you can't get away with this with a lie. My dad won't let you. And neither will Ridge. They'll dig and they'll dig until they find out the truth. And if you're still around when they do, your career is over.
Does that threat apply to Clarke as well?
If I find out that Clarke stole that design and gave it to Sally, I will personally tell my father. Yes. You can tell Clarke that the next time you two get together.
Sally, the dresses are identical.
Eric, I'm not going to argue that point with you. I have been in this business a couple of years myself, you know?
Sally knows a copy when she sees one.
Ouch. Can I say something? I have known of more than one instance in the past when designers have come up with virtually the same idea independently.
Are you telling me that's your company's official position?
Spectre's official position is probably very much like Forrester's.
Oh, we're calling it exactly the way we see it.
You're going to accuse us of stealing your design?
In a word, yes.
Oh, hey, come on. Neither one of us wants to get nasty, do we?
Sally, it's already very nasty.
Yeah, but public accusation like that, I mean, that might call for a lawsuit, huh?
Wait, are you threatening to sue? Because if you are, I would welcome that. But you won't. And we both know why. Because Spectre here couldn't stand up under that kind of public scrutiny. You sue me, and I will prove once and for all that your showstopper was taken from our original. Right out in front of the whole world. You go ahead. You sue the daylights out of me. All right, now I have some questions for you. And if I don't get some answers, maybe I'll be the one who's suing. Now, I want to know who Beau Rivage is, and I want to know what he has to do with all of this.
I think you best lock that door.
So you are happy to see me.
Happy isn't exactly the word I would use.
Fired up, maybe?
Maybe.
Good. Then maybe you'd be motivated.
Motivated.
Hmm? To talk about the future. Our future, Ridge.
Eric, the one thing I can assure you of is that Beau Rivage did not steal your design.
I would like to talk to him myself.
You can't.
You won't reveal his identity?
No. I gave him my word that I wouldn't.
Well, I can only assume, then, that he is responsible for all this.
Eric, nobody stole your design.
I can see that this is getting us nowhere. Let me leave you with something, Miss Spectre. You want my respect, you want my family's respect, well, you're not going to get it. Not ever. The dress was pirated, Sally. You know it, and I know it. And unless I get a full public disclosure to that fact, I will use every resource I have to expose you to the world for what you really are, a common street thief. And you will never be accepted with a shred of dignity by anyone. And that's a promise, I assure you, I can deliver on.
All right, Mr. Forrester. I'll admit it. I do want your respect. And I am willing to do almost anything to get it. This whole fashion gala was sort of an exercise in that regard, wouldn't you say? I'm sure that comes as no surprise to you. But I'll tell you something. I'll tell you what comes as a little bit of a surprise to me. That's your lack of insight. Why? Why would I deliberately commit professional suicide? By stealing a design from you, sticking my own label on it, and then featuring it at the same time in the same show that you were featuring the original? I wouldn't stay in business very long if I didn't have a few more smarts than that, now would I? Wouldn't I be able to figure out how you were going to react? Why would I deliberately subvert my own attempt to win your respect with so blatant and infuriating an act? No, Mr. Forrester. The answer is I wouldn't. And I didn't.
No. I don't think you would, Sally. Unless you figured you had the smarts to pull it off, and that's exactly what I think you're doing right now. What is it we used to call it in the old days? Chutzpah. I'm from the same alley as you are, Sally. And I don't buy it. You stole my design. I'm gonna mess you up for it.
Eric? You got me wrong. And to prove it, I am willing to pull that design from my collection.
With a complete disclosure.
Absolutely not. But I will do it as a gesture of good faith towards a fellow designer for whom I have a great deal of admiration and respect. Now, you can think what you want. But I did not, and I would not, do anything to embarrass you. I knew nothing about this. I swear it. But if you can't believe me, then maybe there's something lacking in you, not in me.
You come in here after I haven't seen you for a week, and you expect me to just sit here and rationally discuss our future?
Oh, we could do it in a cold shower if you'd like.
Oh, Logan, sometimes you can really drive a man to...
To marriage? Yes, Rich. We're back to that again.
I knew I shouldn't have let you go to Europe.
As much as I hate to say it, this is serious. I have been doing a lot of thinking about us this past week. About you.
And?
And I love you. I want you, and I can't wait any longer. And I think it's time for you to make up your mind.
So, this paper that you gave, everything went well, right?
I was lauded from one end of the convention hall to the other.
Once you go back to your hotel room?
Yes, I was alone, and I didn't like it very much. I don't need to be yearning for a man. I'm attractive, in the prime of my life with a very promising career. All I'm missing is someone to share it with. Let's face it, we haven't really shared much lately. And I really can't go on this way anymore, Rich.
Is this an ultimatum?
I'm saying that we can't continue on this way indefinitely. I was hoping that you would agree. Do you?
Yes.
So, where do we go from here? That is the question. I know where I want to go, and with whom. You. But I'm not so sure that you know what you want anymore. Ridge, if you still love me, you're going to have to stake your claim. Soon. Very soon.